product I chose to look at today is the Intel Panther Lake Core Ultra Series 3 and how it relates to the stage gate product development cycle. So the first stage that Cooper describes is discovery and idea generation. And I think for Intel and a lot of these other companies such as AMD, there was not much in terms of discovery and idea generation that they specifically had to do. I think once OpenAI hit the market, that basically prompted all businesses that were tech related that they have to figure out how to incorporate AI into what they're currently doing. However, I will make a note that Intel was previously working on what they called their 18A process, which was like their new factory method of creating chips. And then the next one goes into scoping. Again, I think the main thing for Intel was that they had to figure out how it was going to work, and they already knew that they could rely on the 18A process. And they also knew that there needed to be some sort of dedicated AI engine on the personal device, because that is what was needed and what was wanted. And so that goes right into the building a business case for Intel. And right in Robert G. Cooper's book, he specifies that this is the part where you need to do some financial analysis, as well as in all three of these first stages. Cooper mentions that the voice of the customer is really important, and I think that for Intel, probably a large part of their customer base that matters the most is the stakeholders. And as we've seen over the last 3 years, AI has been very important to stakeholders at all levels. And so, expected growth of the AI PC market that was just needed from Intel. As well, over the last 4 or 5 years, AMD has risen significantly, and I think that is kind of weakened Intel's, what used to be Intel's really strong dominance in the processor market. The next stage that is discussed is development, and here I find it interesting, right? Robert G. Cooper mentions multiple times that stage gate and agile both have a place, and I think that in Intel's case, there's multiple cases where it spoke about iterative testing and trying to figure things out. In a software and hardware, the fact that Intel works on both of those things, they have to iterate multiple times. They're not going to figure it out on something this complex on their first go. And so I think this is where Cooper's being specific about that takes place. And then on to the testing and validation. So Cooper mentions here that there was in-house testing and field testing, and Intel demonstrates that, they did all their own testing, and then with almost all tech companies, they usually release the product to a small subset of users, whether it's influencers or someone that has a platform where they can do testing and then share it with end users. And that is kind of a final way for them to make sure that their product is truly ready. And then Intel finished with their launch, which was done at the CES 2026. Intel used this as an opportunity to introduce this chip and let everybody know that they have AI now on their chips, and for all their laptop partners, they will be able to also be sharing with the market that you can now get a laptop with this new AI chip on your computer. So in summary, Intel used StageGate, maybe not in all the exact ways as described in the book, but by following the general principles of this, they were able to have a successful launch. And here are the citations I used for this. Thanks.